References as far back as 40 BC show the Bichon Frise to have a long and colorful history. Spanish sailors used them for barter, and royalty have presented them as prized gifts. After the Bichon Frise's introduction to Europe, their people-loving temperament helped them gain popularity. As recently as 1972, Bichons were shown in Europe with little or no trimming. At the same time, in the U.S., the breed fanciers were starting to experiment with what has become one of the most stylish grooms of our time. Styles in the show ring can be very trendy. Through trial and error, we have developed a profile that is accepted both in the United States and abroad. This program will not only demonstrate a non-trendy show groom, but also a style for the pet that still represents the breed profile and results in a lower maintenance animal for our clients. Hi, I'm Sarah Hawks. We are at Madison Square Garden today to interview Flavio Vernac. He is an all-breed handler and has been using this Bichon in competition. I understand he has championships in 8 countries. Is that true?
Yeah.
Have you?
7 countries plus international championship.
Oh, that's very impressive. I think the trim is very, very pretty. Can you give us some pointers on how to maintain this coat and maybe a little bit of information on why he's trimmed the way he is?
Basically, I do the trim to give the dog what is my understanding of the right outline for the breed, not making him look too long or too short, too leggy or too low in leg. Basically, what I believe is a correct proportion for this breed.
Could you tell us what you think maybe some of the pet groomers in the grooming industry do wrong with the Bichons that come into their shop, and maybe some of the things that they could do to improve their trims?
Well, basically, that's not a market that I'm probably, again, the right person to tell you this, but basically I think there is a lot too poodly look on the Bichons, or maybe what I see a lot on the streets is dogs with way too much hair left underneath, so they look to the other extreme of long bodies, which I think is not proper either.
They're just too puffy all over. There's no style and no flair. I see a lot with long ears hanging past the face, or when you say the poodle cut, you see the top not cut into over the ears. I think that's probably a mistake that they make.
Yes, definitely, and I think it takes the whole proportion, because this is a very distinguished expression that this breed has, and I think it's very important to have the right look and the right width to the skull to give the correct proportion between the nose and the eyes that should have very dark pigment and making a very definite triangle, so they're not supposed to be narrow in any way. way. And I think the long ears, a lot of the times, for my personal taste, make it look more, how would I say,
Off balance?
Right, on a vertical line rather than a horizontal, I would say.
I think you explained that very well. One of the things that I see in the show ring is there's a lot of Bichons that have the top of their tail scissored or not scissored. Do you think that's a personal preference on the part of the handler?
The whole trimming on the Bichons in the ring these days, and I'm learning, and I see that a lot. You see so many different styles, and I think a lot of that is just basically styles that people that would do it differently for a matter of personal taste, but still within the standard. So nothing to be condemned in any way. You might dislike it just because it is your personal taste.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I know it's been a long day here at Westminster Dog Show, and I wish you all the luck in the world. Are you showing tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm showing 7 dogs tomorrow.
You need any help?
Yeah, I'm okay. I have good stuff. Excellent.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Joan Anderson, and we're here today to discuss the grooming of the Bichon Frise. We have a bit of a challenge today on our table. We're going to start with a grooming on a show dog. Normally, Bichon has a very crisp coat. Our Bichon today has a bit of a soft coat. It's thick, but it is soft. It's not going to stand up and salute for us to groom. We'll be using a 10-blade on our clipper today for sensitivity, as Bichons are sensitive. We'll be using an array of scissors. Each one has a different function for bulking, for skimming, for picking up this tough coat to see what it likes and what won't run away from it. A nice wide tooth comb and a slicker brush, which we've prepared the dog with in advance. Okay, we'll start with our top line first. We'll comb it up nicely. We're going to come to a point, according to our dog's structure, just behind the shoulder. Bichons are longer than they are tall. They are not square like a poodle. They will have a chest and a nice little rear end. So let's lay our top line in. You can sneak up on this later. What you really want is a level top line to start with. Your comb is your best friend or your worst enemy. This finds every little thing that you're missing. You want to comb like crazy on a Bichon, especially on a coat like this. It's not an easy coat. See all that stuff that popped right back up there again? Okay, we've laid our top line in. Now we're going to start on the rear end. Bichons have a cute little pinchable rear end. So what I do is I push my tail up over us. This is how they're shown, and carry their tail. We'll comb all this out. Begin our curve. This is the top of our cute little Bichon butt. Move the tail to the side slightly. Come up here, and that'll help you start blending your top line in with this. Okay, we'll put our tail down. Comb this up. The back shot is like a U, so we want to just ease over from the top line into the leg. So we'll pick up our straights again. Turn our dog around. You want them looking forward. When they change their angle, they change everything. So you want them stacked and looking straight forward. Starting at our top line, we'll come right on over and start our soft U. And this U will continue all the way up the body. Okay, I usually go up to about halfway up the dog because we're going to be concentrating on our rear leg first. Okay, now that we've set where we want the length on our body, we'll bring it on down into the leg. This kind of hair we have to sneak up a bit. And there's our U, and then a straight line down to the floor. So you can scissor this first section this way. Then we'll do our footwork. Now, the bottoms of a Bichon's leg should look like a column. It should have a nice foundation. So when we pick up this foot and cut the bottoms, we're going to go flush with the floor. Now this very back bit here, I push this up with my thumb. And at the backs of the two last pads, is where I'll make my line, because I don't want to lose this substance here on the end. So I'm pushing it up, and I'll take off flush with the floor the rest, and then I'll put my foot down. Now if they're a little edgy, you can pick up the other leg so you know that they're standing on this leg. Comb everything out. This is not a Cocker Spaniel. You don't want to bevel. Once they start moving and the coat starts pulling itself in, you want to have as much substance as you can. So, don't want to angle in. You want to come right flush, straight up and down. Do not expose your toenails. And this is the beginning of our column. Do it on the inside. This will help you set your leg length as well. And right on around. Okay, we've set the bottom, so now we want to match our top with our bottom. Comb, 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 comb. You gotta comb like crazy. Okay, now we'll take our straights. Make sure your dog is standing straight. Like I say, this is a tough coat, so we're going to do a lot of chasing. And it's straight down to match the length you have at the bottom of the foot. Now Brio is pretty overgrown, so we're basically setting a whole new pattern here. Sometimes I'll take my scissors and flip my hair without having to comb, and that'll flip out our stray ends. And you want a nice smooth finish here, all the way to where we set the bottom of that foot. Okay, come again, see what we have sticking out. Grab that other leg because he's a little dancy on us. Get something nice and dark if you can to look at. And it'll show you right where you need to be. Okay, I don't set my angulation next. I set the inside of my leg first. Taking the tail, I'll pick the leg up and put it in the hydrant position. To get this nice and clean in here, and match all your work. It should be one nice straight column, inside and out. Just review yourself, especially with this soft coat like this, because you'll hit it right in your face. Okay, now we're going to do our cute little rear end. So we'll comb this back up, we'll review our earlier set, and get that cute little curve in there. And it rolls right over to the side. So tack it from down under here. Then I want to flip your scissors and put the bottom of the curve in. And block this in first. This is a tough thing to do on a Bichon. Then move into your angulation. Angulation is very important in Bichon. It shows action and a nice strong rear end. Ending above where the hock is, because that helps with the action too. Leaving this hair longer helps with the action and accentuates your angulation. Hop right in there with that. Get close to the back of the leg, because that'll help this little rear end start popping out. Smooth that out. So, okay, we got a little rear end going on here. Make sure you have nice, clean angulation. And we move to the hock. Now your hock should come straight down. So you're looking for that column effect. Once they start moving, the bottom of the foot will tighten back up on its own. So you want to leave as much substance at the bottom of the foot as you can. So stack your dog. Good boy. And come straight down. Not too close. You want to leave hock hair. Take your edges off all the way around. little bit more of this off here and attack it this way. Comb it again. Sneak with our curves over this way until it fits. Best way to find out the conformation on your dog is when it's wet in the tub. Are his legs too short? Are his legs too long? How long is the body? There's tricks to shorten the body to the eye. Using hair for camouflage. Okay, we've got that set. Now we're going to move to the tuck-up. Now, since this is not a puppy cut on a poodle, you don't want a real extreme tuck-up. So let's scissor our way down the side. Let's scissor these. And I move my whole body while I'm doing this. And flow with the scissors. And then I'll come straight off. Flow. Moving my whole body, not just my arm. So now we'll look at how much hair we have here. We don't want to pinch him. It's not a Bedlington. So we'll pick up the leg, find out where he really is. We'll take our curves, and we'll start setting our tuck up down. I have a moderate tuck up, not extreme. So this looks pretty good for now. Let's put it down and see where it ended up. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of our underline. Get some of this hair off. It's a very gentle slope. Not necessarily straight across, but almost. There. Comb up what we have. Put it down. Good boy. Put it down. We'll pick up our other leg. Trick him. Okay. The shape we're looking for is showing a knee, and it doesn't come straight down to the front of the toe. We do show a foot here. So we want to put in the knee, and we want to lose some of the substance here. See the shape I'm shooting for here? You do want to show this shape. Try to get down here a bit. So we can get him to stand on his own naturally. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we got a pretty good shape going. It's like scissoring a 2x4 first and then taking off the edges to make it a column. Sneak up on it. Now they do get a little bit of a waistline. When you're looking down the top of the dog, you're not going to see this, but the illusion will be there because you're taking it from down here. This is where your sculpting comes in. So give them a little bit of a waistline and blend it into your tuck-up. And there's two ways to attack when you're getting to here. Now he's uneven here. I'm going to comb some more, get my straights and move a little further up into my shoulder, which is one of the biggest mistakes I see is what we call a loaded shoulder. So you want to make sure you get this shoulder tight, and this line should graduate right straight through and it'll go up into the neck. So we'll start here. We don't want to pinch this neck, so we're going to start right on the side and come right on off. We're going to do the same thing when we cut around our front foot. We'll comb everything down, up, clean up all this between our toes, and push that up with your thumb, and then from the bottoms of those two pads here, that's where you put your line. Because if you cut up to the back of the pad there, you're losing half an inch or more. But you want that substance, so be very careful about not cutting too much off the back of that. Nice and tidy. Put our foot down. Okay. Let's see if we keep that foot on the table. Good boy. Comb it out in all directions. See if he'll leave his front leg down to comb. Good boy. I like to start with the front, so I know I'm not exposing my nails, and I'm not going to get a pinched foot, because I want a round foot. Find my nails, Straight up and down. Column, not bevel. Like I said before, this will help set the length for the rest of the leg. And make this nice and round. See, our substance is still here in the back. Set the front and sides first. A lot of hair, baby. Okay. Now we're going to want a nice straight leg right off of here. We don't want to look like he's out in the shoulder. So I like to scissor over the top of the dog with my straights. You can aim at the blackness at the bottom of the table. Roll it up. And I do my front leg work down, because a lot of our Bichons, instead of having this nice straight front, are what we call Chippendale, or east-west front, where the toes are pointing out to the sides, and our wrist is way in, our elbow's way out. But we have a nice straight front this time, so we can go straight on down. But you can hide all of these things with hair, and that's why I recommend leaving the leg down before you go to pick it up to tidy your ends. Because if you pick it up and cut it and put it back down, and that hair's gone, it's gone. You can take it off, but you can't put it back down, or put it back on. So comb some more, get your already cut hair out of the way, and come straight down. I set my sides first. Now that I've set my side, I'm going to start with the back of the front leg, and I'm going to leave it down to do it. So I'll find where I want, because we want to match our substance here with our substance here. So come in, make my first cuts, take off my edges, and basically see how that fits. Now this is where our really wispy hair is coming into play here. So I'm really going to have to play with this. Curve it around. Straight down to the floor. Now there is some substance here. Flat with the floor, coming straight down to it. Now I'm not going to pick this leg up yet. Now I've got a basic length there. See, there's a great big guy hopped out of there. Next I'll set the front. Now Bichon gets a chest. It's a nice little Popeye chest. So going in line with what we've already scissored here, we'll come straight up and off. Start to curve around. Okay, let's set our chest. Find your dog's Adam's apple. That's where the bottom of your head is going to be. To get the starting of our circular head, we want to get in tight here so that our circle pops out after we're done. So we're going to take our curves and get in tight. Okay, I've set that. Now I'm going to come around and take my corner off and just make a nice transition through here. Okay, I've got my chest. Here's how you make your chest pop. The front column of the front leg wants to match up with that toe up there. Okay, we have plenty of hair for that. Really, you have to stand up the right way though. Stacking is very important in this groom to get it to flow and be the way you want it. I'll take my curves, I've set it here, and I will come into the front leg like so. See this chest starting to pop out? Then I will switch, and I will reverse my scissors this way. Kind of like the rear end. I want it to pop out and make this nice, smooth transition into the front leg. See our chest starting to come? coming. Around the corner and into this nice little bit of a curve. There's a little chest coming. Now we want to put in the front of the front. Let's see, who's going to like this? Let's try these. Straight down to the front of our toes. Do not put a foot in the front. This should be a column. Okay, basically I'm scissoring a 2x4 in here first. Then I'll come up and take my edge off. But you can see where we've got a little chest going here. Tight up at the top, nice little chest, and down into our front leg. And watch that shoulder so you don't get a loaded shoulder. Sneak up on it. Come on, baby. Tighten up your work. I'm blocking in first as I go, especially since I don't know the dog. I'd rather sneak up on it and cut it and be doggone sorry real quick. Okay, now I will do the inside. And you can do this by picking up the other front leg. And you want it to be nice and even. So figure out where you want to lay that in. Come on in with him standing. And match your outside. Some of this is going to come off. Good boy. Okay, now he's basically blocked in. You stand it, you're standing really weird. This is the hardest part, is getting these guys to stand still because they want to go play. Hold it up again. Get in here. And I try to do just as much as I can on the ground first before I start getting involved and picking it up. Let's look at the little chest here. Pre-groomed some of this earlier. Now let's match it. Nice transition. Nice and smooth, nice and tight up here. A little Popeye chest coming. Right on around. You have to look at all angles. Up, over, down, up. From the sides. You want everything to flow. That's the pretty part about this room, is making it flow. Okay, now that I've basically blocked this leg in, I'm going to look at it. Try to get away from your work. If you're on top of your work all the time, you can't see it. Now I think I can take some more off the back of that front leg, so I'm going to do so. And I'm doing all this before I pick it up. Get back, that matches a little bit better with our substance. Now we can pick up. Start with my inside first. Clean up this. Then I'll look at the back. Alright, let's try these. Take our bits off here. It's alright, I got you. And put our underline in. I'll take the substance out here until you put it down and decide if you need it or not. Good. See, I needed that. If I had to cut that off, I'd have been sorry. Look for this. Make it part of the leg. You're going to clean up your area. With a coat like this, it gets thin behind that front leg, so you have to be real careful. Check our work again. We do this forever and not get a perfect finish on this soft coat, but we've got a pretty good pattern going. Okay? And you can look all around different angles, and you can sneak in there with these long scissors. Decide what's going on. However you can get to it. Whatever your personal best is to get into sneaky little spots. Whatever wrestling hold you need, go ahead and use it. Okay. Let's straighten this up a little. Everything flows. Okay. Now we're going to move to the head. This is a very critical part of the Bichon. When we go and do our thinning scissor work or our clipper work, we don't want to go too far into the stop as we would with a poodle. It's more or less a level line right here, not pushing too far in. Now he's been cut a little further up the muzzle than I would care to. The further up the muzzle you cut, the longer your dog's muzzle is going to look. So we're going to grow this back out. And what we've done is we've cleaned out the very corners of his eyes. And this is typical. A lot of Bichons have some staining. So if you want to pull that a little lower for owner preference, you can, and that'll make a lot of that disappear. So, with a little V into the muzzle and straight across from eye to eye. Okay, here's the biggie for the Bichon. You layer it. He's got his head right now is almost belled. Whoever groomed him last has pinched him here. Makes him look poodlish. It's too pinched here, which makes him look belly here. We want a nice round head. Okay? Set the eyes first. Push the rest of your top knot back. With a finer tooth comb, start here at the very edge and pull out one layer. Take your curves. You're going to get in close to the eye. And you're going to cut 1/4 to 1/2 inch into the side of the head on the corner of the eye, on both eyes. Get his eyelashes off and cut into the sides, getting close to the eye. I don't have a lot of hair in this layer right here right now. With a fine-tooth comb, pull this out. There's a little bit of a bump in the front. This gives him that little I could do anything look. And supports the rest of our top knot. So from the bottom, you make a little boom, push out into what we cut over the eye, and bring it on up. This is our first layer. We're still growing this out here, so I'm holding this with my finger so I don't cut it. Okay, comb, check our work. You'll always find a straggly guy. Never fails. Check it again with your scissors. Nice smooth transition. It should go in, out, in. Kind of a serpent kind of thing going on there. Okay. Next layer. There's your first layer. Back up a little bit further into the head for your next layer. Push the rest of the hair back. You don't want to get involved in that. Take your layer. This next layer won't have that serpentine movement. This is going to be a curve. Get in here, and it will blend with the little bump we left and come around. Now this next layer will go into the side of the head as well and up. The same thing on the other side, coming around and into the head. Nice transition into what we cut before. Comb. See if you missed anything. Looking down over the top of the head. Get your stragglies. This opens up the eye so you can see the Bichon's expression. They're very expressive little dogs, so therefore you want to see it. Some people like to pocket an eye. To pocket an eye, they take out the hair underneath the eye as well as the top and really push it in. This makes their eyes pop out. They should have a dark halo. This is where their expression comes from. So you want to make sure you're nice and tight in there. We're not going to pocket these eyes today, because he doesn't have real dark halos. Okay, make him look down. Take another layer of hair. This time you're going to involve the sides of the head as well. All right, baby, come on. Make him look down. Switch sides. And this is where your circle's going to start. You're going to blend what you're cutting here into what you cut before in the other layers, and you're going to start making your circle. This is where it starts. Blending into what you cut before. And we will start. Look at it from the side. Find a dark surface to look against. And that will help you. Stay. You want it to be forward looking. Make it look like they're going. They're on a mission. And they're serious. And that's where this comes from. Okay, then we'll do another layer. Start and look down. Pulling from the sides as well. And more curve. See, now there's barely anything coming off on some of these parts at this point. Come on, right on around. Get that ear involved. That ear is part of what's making this look belly. We want a round head, not a bell head. This is not a disco bichon from the 70s. We want a round head. Keep him looking down further. Good boy. Pull all of this forward. Good boy. Keep your circles going. Match what you did before. Coming around in the sides, involving your ears. Get that off of there. And on around. At this point, he's almost looking at his toes. Fluff this up and go ahead and bring him up. So now you can see your circle starting. This is a nice little trick to get this laid in first, and you can fiddle with it later. Now, since this is a show dog, I'm not going to look down any further because we don't want to lose any substance here for our neck. He's a little sparse in neck anyway, so we want to keep as much hair here as we can. But we've started our circle. So we'll hold him here, take a peek, take off any edges. He's a little bit shy of hair here, so we're just going to be skimming. This is where we were lacking hair. So we're going to adjust by taking off more of the top of the head so we can get a nice transition. Okay. Nice and smooth and on down. Okay, there's your top. Now I set the bottom. Have the dog look up in the air. Where he tried to find his Adam's apple before, now you truly need to find it. So we're going to get rid of some of this. Okay, the Adam's apple's way up here, so we're going to get rid of this fault down here. There's my curvy guys. Find out where he is. Still pretty far up there. So we're going to take off some more. You get tight on the neck. This is what makes them pop. That head pops out. And then your little chest, and then your legs come. So get nice and tight at this point. Right up on it. See it starting to pop. On the other side. Walk this side over here. Okay, and look straight up again. See what you got. And it's pretty much the same thing. You start to layer. Put in a level. See all that excess there? That's where this bell was. Here. Light touch on these heads. They don't like resistance. Okay, we got a lot of hair here. We want his nose basically to be in the center of our circle. So we'll take a peek at him. And let's go ahead and start. You can see the transition already going into a nice round head. Sweep up the side slightly. You gotta help me. Okay. Bring this up on this side. Okay, let's see what we got here. Come on, you gotta help me. There's a boy. There we go. Start sweeping up into this. Now once I've got this set, don't want to cut too, you don't want to start getting involved here because our neck should come right with our body and we're going to have to blend the sides of our head with our neck. So let's just clean this up here. And you can work with the very front. Let's not do anything behind the ear at this point. We're going to comb out the sides. Come on, babes. I know. See the bell? See where that bell is coming from there? Let's make a circle. And yes, you do cut off the ear hair. That's part of your circle. See how it's starting here? I'm getting it blocked in, sneaking up on it. Okay. There's one side. Okay. Now we want to match our work on the other. We've pulled this out. Keep going with our circle. Combing everything straight out. We're starting to lose our pinch where that poodly thing was going on. Comb everything straight out in a radial fashion as this. Take a peek at them, look at where our edges are, and clean up our edges. Don't. Good boy. Relax. You can sneak in under here. Up. And around. And just so we get some more of this pinched look out of here. Okay. Now, he's more round. I want to touch his head so you can see. He's a round boy. Good boy. Okay, next we're going to set our neck into our head. Now this is very critical. The important thing here is we don't want to pinch this area here. We want this transition from our body line to go right up and into this head. We don't want to pinch it this way because when you look over the dog you want one uniform, except for the roundness of the head, one nice uniform shape coming this way. No pinching. Okay? So we're going to sneak up on that. Come in here from the line that you set on the side of your body and up to what will be the back of your circle. And this should be one straight line going this way. Good boy. And we are lacking a bit in neck, but we're going to pretend. So one up into there. Now we'll take our curves and decide where we want the back of the circle to be. So we're going this way. So this is where it is. Put it on in there. Lay it right on in there. Clean up this area here. And then continue our line with what's going with our body. It doesn't pop much from the back. It pops mostly from under the head into the neck. I see so many of them pinched. It just ruins the whole effect. Okay, let's take a look at what we got. I can see from my dark areas. Come up here and right off the front of the dog. And then I'll pick up our curves. Find them, there they are. And clean this up from behind. And get them into our circle. And it starts to pop. Okay, so that's a nice transition. Now see if we can fake a neck. Everything's straight up. Stack the dog nicely. Find the shoulder blades. See, we do have a lot of neck hair, but they want this like a little circus pony where the reins are real tight and they have that little stand-up mane and they go along very seriously. That's the same look that you're looking for here, so that's why we're missing hair here. But I'm going to show you the transition from the back and into this, but we need more hair here. So I'll comb this back up since I found my shoulder blades. Push our top line up. It's about 2 to 3 fingers behind the shoulder blade. Make our transition to the side. We're not pinching. We're lacking here already. Pull this up. What I do is make the dog look down slightly. You don't want this angle. You want this angle. So we're going to attack it this way. Comb it up again. Clean it up. You don't want a V. This is almost like another U, like our rear end is a U here. And into our straight line down our side. And take a peek. Okay, we've got the start. Not much of them. We've got the start, but we're still not swaying in. Okay, starting from the top of where we have our head, we'll look at our profile and make our transition. Let's go to a big curve for this because we're going to cover more area. We're just going to be tipping here. I wish I had more hair to show you. That'll be better. You're still a good boy. You can look down slightly, make him do the pony thing, like he has a tight rein. And let's just tip this. And down it goes. Nice smooth transition. And then it just moves right up gracefully into the top of the curve, the circle we've already made up there on the head. Here's a good way to do your heads. Let them do it naturally as if they shook it. Just grab their little cheekies and shake it a little bit. Tug gently. Okay. And since we didn't have a heck of a lot of neck, we took off our little frizzy guys. But this transition here, not easy to see, but it's not scooping in, it's booping up with as much boop as we could get. Okay? A little detail work on the head that I wanted to show you. Makes a nice and tidy look if you thinning scissor or clip, whatever the dog will let you do. This very top lip, clear this very area out here. This gives you more, you can see the darkness of the nose a little bit better. It's a nice, neat, tidy look. Do that. Like I say, thinning scissors or clippers, whatever they'll let you do. Don't get their little tongue. They're going to try and stick their tongue out there and get you. And there's Mr. Circle. You can comb this many times. Mr. Comb. Take off any stragglers. And look at them from all different angles. See what you got going on. This is a circle. Take off all of your edges. Okay. Let's take a peek at it. Good boy. Looks like we did pretty good there, considering what we had for neck. Looking at it from this side, make a little better transition over the shoulder. There he is. We didn't discuss the tail. Let's go back to our tail. Let me flip him around for you. There are different methods to tails. If you have a tail set that's not real good, some people will put a V in. I like the flared tail. That's a nice position there, buddy. When you clean this out, clean up about 2 fingers from the top of the anus. Pull your tail to the side. Comb the hair out this way. And you want to make flare V's from the base and into the end of the tail. Where are you going? Stay right there. Pull this. I do this with curved scissors. Pull it to the side. You're standing on everything. Good boy. No, you want to do that? We can do it too. Pull it to the side. Don't scissor the entire base of the tail. Just make these little V's. Dun and dun. So then when you push your tail up, it's a nice and clean area here, and you can see your cute little rear end going on. Okay? Tired, baby? There's a boy. Comb over your work. Check your head. Especially if you've made a correction. You'll find things constantly popping out for you to cut. Because the hair is not used to behaving this way when it's this short. It can pull on itself and change itself. Pull things in and hide them from you, and your job is to pull them out and catch them. Now we have a nice round head. He's a good boy. Yes. Okay, now we'll pull a quick review of what we have discussed about grooming the Bichon. We started with a level top line. We made a nice transition over, looking for a basic U when we looked from the rear of the dog. Our legs came straight off of that U and straight down to the floor. We did not bevel our feet. We put a cute little rear end on him. We showed his angulation. Our hock came straight down to the table. Our tuck up is moderate. It's pulled slightly forward. We have a knee and we have a foot. We don't have a loaded shoulder. This line is straight on through, down into the front leg. Moderate tuck up, fairly straight underline. We have a chest. We pulled tightly into our head. We changed our disco dog head into a round head. We cleared out our eyes. We layered our head. We cleaned out our upper lip. We flared our tail. We faked our neck. And there you have the show Bichon Frise. Next, we're going to discuss a nice pet trim for our clients from the grooming shop. Most owners can't cope with as much hair as we had on our other show dog. So I'm going to show you a nice tight pet trim, and I'm going to use a 4-blade. A lot of people are going, 4-blade, that's awful short. Well, when you have a dense coat like this, it's a wonderful thing. You still have coverage. I have some dogs that have such thick coats, and they're built like little brick chicken coops. You can put a 7 on them. I'm from Florida, so some of my dogs can go in a 7. Others that aren't built quite so thickly, you would go to this, or you can start putting shoes or boots or combs. Everyone has a different name. Blade guards on your blade, and then your desired length for the customer. Today, though, we're going to do a 4-blade. We're going to move our neckline up further than we did for our show dog. We're going to leave space here in front of the rear leg and behind the front leg, and we will scissor that in, and that will still give us the same bodysuit effect as we have on our show dog on our pet. Here we go. This is a thick coat. I'm going to come straight off the tail, and I'll scissor the rest of that in. I don't want to clip her in because then I'll give her a dumpy little tail set, and I don't want to do that either. She may be a pet, but by golly, she deserves to be cute. So we'll move this neck up. Take our side off. But we're not going to come too close to this. We're going to scissor that in so we have a nice smooth transition. We don't want our pet to look pinched any more than we wanted our show dog to look pinched. You can come down into the hip slightly. Go ahead and leave yourself a V to scissor later for our tail set. Pull it down a bit. Leave yourself some room in front of this tuck up. Pull our neck up. Find the flat of the dog here. Don't go into where the neck graduates and narrows. Find the flat of the shoulder. You're going to have to part this hair, it's so thick. Beautiful coat. And take it off and pull it straight down the leg. You can get a nice finish with a close blade. Go around to the front. Okay, we're in the front now. We're going to look for our Adam's apple again. Here it is, and that's where we will begin our clipper. It's about where the noose is sitting. And we'll come around. Now the flat of the shoulder, you can feel the flat of the shoulder, and you can feel the transition up into the neck. You don't want to get up into the neck. You want the furthest out point of the dog, and you're going to take it straight off. I'm going to move up the neck, because this is going to be a tiny neck. A lot of people can't brush all this hair, so we're going to make it small. Bring this out. Pick up your front leg, leaving room to scissor. Thick coat, going in different directions. And the rest we can scissor. You can get tired depending on how long the person wants the pet. Okay, let's get rid of some hair. It's all hair that the owner no longer has to brush, and they will be very happy. Okay, now we're missing a little hair here. We're going to pull our tail straight out, not getting into the hair in the tail, so hold that and give your dog a level top line. Scissor it in. And move down into the hip the same way you did with your show dog. Nice and smooth. And you've already got a natural body line to follow, so come right on down. Now, this is a real thick coat. A coat like this you don't want to condition because it'll stick to itself and it's very difficult to get a finish on. And I take my curves and I'll lay this in with a pair of curves. This gives that smooth bodysuit appearance, and you won't have a pinch tuck up. Okay, we'll move to our foot. We're going to do the same thing that we did with the show dog. We're going to comb it all up, see what she has to offer on feet. Push that hair up to those two last little toes there, trying to cover up our black pad so we don't lose our substance in the back of our foot. Everything all flush and level. Lay it down. Good babies. Palm your foot down, starting at the front of the foot so you don't pinch your circle or expose your nails. Scissor this off. Nice circle. You're going for a cylindrical look. On a pet, you're going to make your feet tighter because you're going for a shorter leg. You can bevel on a pet. Bring in less of the yard when they come in that night. Stay, baby, good girl. All the way around. That sets the bottom for your foot. Comb, comb, comb. Come straight down to the bottom of the foot. Nice little transitions. We're back to our cute little Bichon butt. Push your tail up. We've cleaned out this area. About 2 fingers from the anus once again. Take our curves and we lay in the top of that rear end. Pull your tail slightly to the side and come on around. At this point, if you want to, you can start your tail flare. Okay. There's the top. Now we're going to come on down. A pet can have a cute butt too. Leave that in. Once again, the hydrant position. Clean out all of this hair here with a pair of straights. Careful your privates. Nice and tight, neat, sanitary. Don't need any hair here. Okay, I've changed the angle of my dog so I can show you the inside and the outsides of the legs and the hydrant position. So let's go over our outside one more time. Let me show you how to do the hydrant position with your tail and your foot. See? Take this out with your straights. Nice and clean. Right in there. Up to your privates, being very careful. Put your leg back down. See a sticky outy guy here. Now we'll do the inside. Comb. Okay. Settle inside. Okay. Now we'll move the dog again. So we can work on our angulation and our hock. Okay. We've got our top. Nice and round. Now we'll set our bottom, comb everything up, flip our scissors. It's like a 45 in here. Turn them again and take off your edges. Make a nice transition into the side of the leg. Nice and tight, rolling to the inside. You can come down a little closer to the hock on the pet than you would on the show dog. Angulation is very important in the show dog. It just looks really nice on a pet. Do you have any strays? Same thing in a pet as with the show dog. Hock comes straight down. We tried to keep as much substance as the bottom there as we could. If it's not there, pretend. Straight down to the floor and on around. And you can scissor the top of that a bit. This is another place where they mat. Now I'll just cut it so it's easier to maintain for the owner. Let's see what we got. Okay, let's reset this foot. Curve this on around. You're just looking for a neat, tidy, tight groom. And this is a major place for mats, especially if they get to do a lot of running outside in the country. How do you get that off of there? Okay, we're going to set our tuck up the same way we did on the show dog. Pick up our leg, find where our skin is, come from underneath, and sweep it right into the body. And make your transition this way too. Get down, you've got your start. Comb it up. They can still get a little knee and a foot just like a show dog, it's just shorter. Here we go. There's our knee. We're coming down. And then we're taking off in front of that foot. We have dubbed this the Econo Bichon, by the way. Not that it costs a whole lot less money because you're still doing a lot of scissoring, but it's a lot quicker and easier on the groomer and the owner when the grooming chores are in order. Go. Down here, on the inside. And you can pick your leg up, stretch it out. Catch any little scraggly guys. It's all curves. This is all curves. Right up on there. Okay, let's take the butt down a little bit. Balance her out. I'd rather sneak up on things than get in there and slam it in and make a boo-boo. Because I don't know boo very well. Okay. One more little lumpette. And tighten that up. And we'll move to our front. Okay, now we'll do the front foot. Same way we did the back foot. See how much substance we have. We'll push it up. We'll cut it those two little pads like we did on the show dog. Cut things off level. Put it back down. Comb it out. Again, starting with the front of the foot so we get a circle and we don't expose our nails. Cut right up to them. Once again, this will be helping us set our length of our leg. We're going to get in there tight. So we're going to be short. Around. Same thing on the inside. On the in and on around. Good girl. Okay. Comb this up. Make sure they're stacked. Relax, baby, good girl. There. And you can start with your neck and come down to meet your clipper work and go right into your leg. That's where you're flat of your shoulder. You've already clipped that off, and that shows you where to start for everything. That shortens everything up right away. Straight down. Comb up your work. You can come right on in here. Scissor up to where you clipped. Match. And move right into your leg again. It's alright, baby. Look at it from another angle. You don't want any out elbows on your pet either, so get them nice and tight. This is where you can do your camouflage grooming on a lot of your Bichon pets. They've got that funny front. She doesn't have that problem. If she did, you wouldn't see it anyway, because we're going to hide it. Okay. Come around. Start turning your corner from here. Okay. Now we're going to sit our back of our front leg. Find where your dog is and get in tight. Okay. Now we're going to do the front of the front leg. We can still put a little chest on the pet, just as we did in the show dog. So we'll scissor through our neck area here, into the shoulder where we've already clipped, make a nice little transition. Scissor this off. Come on down, take off this edge here. Get right up in here. And cut down into the front of the front leg, leaving our little chest. There it pops. Take our straights and come straight down to our toe. Pick up other leg, comb this up. Scissor it standing, because we have so many crooked leg babies out there, before you pick it up to clean it up. I never clip her in between the two legs. I don't clip her. I don't do that on a poodle. I don't do that on a Bichon. I would much rather see a graceful arc done with scissors. Okay. Get our comb. Pull out or go around the corner curves. You can fix up the back of that front leg and lay the chest in all in one position. Come right on down. If you have a hole, pretend that it's not there. Alright? And just take off your edges. Everything here, a nice smooth blade. Nice and short. Okay. We can move into the neck and do that from this angle. You can pinch the neck on the pet. Come in and make it almost like a carry neck. You can get as short as you want to, or you can leave it as long as you want to. Depends on the brushing skills of the owner, or what their preference is. You can just take it right from your clipper work and pull it right on in. Okay, now we'll do a quick review of the head. It's basically the same as the show dog's head, just shorter. So we're still going to be doing the thing that we did with the layering. So we're going to take a finer tooth comb, pick out a layer. The first one is shorter. Pull it forward. With our curves, we're going to get in tight on the eyeball. Now on a pet, you can go 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, whatever that pet needs. If your owners have a tendency to get in there and start being junior groomers, go ahead and do it shorter so they don't have the tendency. because they'll mess up a head real quick. Give them a lobotomy. They cut all the hair off here saying it's in their eyes, and this hair is still here. Where does that come from? So let's get in tight here. Okay, now we have our little bimp. We'll make it a short little bimp. Okay, let's check our first layer. Level our second layer. Review it quickly. And we're ready for our second layer. I'm going about an inch into the head behind the first layer. Pull that forward. Again, this is not the serpentine line. This is a circle. Half a circle. And cutting in, you can go to an inch here. It's like a shelf. It'll support the rest of the top now. For scissors. There goes the curly Q in the eye. Just cut that off. It's gone. Okay. Another layer involving the rest of our head, matching our previous layer. Come on around, down and in. Good baby, stay. Down. Make her look further down. Pull out more. Another layer. Your curves. Good babies. Did you sneeze? And start getting involved in the sides of your head now. And down. She had a bit of a disco Bichon going on too. Now the pet head, she's gonna be looking at China by the time I'm done. Keep going. Matching our previous layer. Into our ear. Right on along on the other side as well. Make her look further down. Pull this hair here. Same procedure. Matching your previous layer. Right on along. Move your ear. Be careful now. Know your dog's anatomy. Don't be cutting any ear leathers off of here. Stay. Turn it around. Check it out. Straggles. Nice and around. Looking for a circle here. Top of our circle is what we're putting in. There's a short top, but it's still round. Up from here. Take off any edges that we see. Okay. Now we'll go to the bottom where we had our clipper line. Set in that first layer right up to the neck. Pull this down. Remember, our nose wants to be in the middle of our circle. So look at your dog, decide where that is, cut it. They've got to have their mouth shut for this. Boo's having a hard time with that. She's hot and a little nervous. Start swinging up for your sides. Good girl. Let's see. Sure, come here, Boo. Your nose in the middle. Pretty much. Good girl. Shut it. Good. Okay. Now we'll move to our sides. Pulling everything straight out. And put in the sides of your circle. Relax, sweetie. Good girl. You can sweep up from the bottom or you can come down from the top. However it's easiest for you to make a circle. Now, since we're going so short with the pet, you can actually pull their ear out. Comb it, and scissor in another little circle here at the bottoms of the leathers. That'll help you set your circle too. Just put it the other ear. Scissors. And get close. Then you know where your leathers are. Recomb. Shut your mouth, sweetie. Good girl. What? Okay. Now that little bit of ear sticking out. And we'll take it off. Now on the beards, people don't need all that beard either, so go ahead. Shut her mouth. Pull this beard forward. And it will become part of the circle, but it will be from the front. Take your curves and sweep it that way. Then when they get a drink of water, or if they're drooling, there won't be as much hair to hold it. Still neat and tidy, it's still there. It's just shorter. Okay, there's a little bit sticking out. You gotta shut your mouth, baby. Come here. Relax. Good girl. That's good. Then we'll move to the back of our head. Pulling out all of this hair. Make sure it's all out there. Take your scissors and lay in the back of that circle. So you can start on the pet right behind the ear. And sweep it right in. Okay, now that we've got the side of our head laid in, we're going to do a neck. Now, depending on the owner's preference as to how short you want to do your neck. So you can start back here, holding the dog's head up. See that excess there? Just going to take it right off. And that'll go into our circle. So that sets the top of the back of our head. We'll go to the base. Now on the show dog, we wanted this. On the pet, we don't. So we're going to turn our scissors this way. And take it on off. This is another place, especially if they're wearing harnesses. This is where they really matter. A lot of Bichon owners put their dogs on a harness. You blend it in, right into the body, nice and short. Then we can go to straights. Go right in there and cut it off. But we still have a Bichon profile. We still have a neck. It's short, but it's there. Nice transition. Let's see what we got here. And there's our pet with a nice short body.